Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We begin with Allah's blessed name. We praise Him and we glorify Him. We pray for peace and blessings on all His noble messengers. And I greet you here from the sitting room in Birmingham, in Britain. Now for the first time you are listening to me from Britain. Before this I was in Trinidad, and from Trinidad I travelled to Belgrade. I spent 10 days in Belgrade, and while I was in Belgrade, this book, the methodology for the study of the Quran, which was translated to the Serbian language and published in Belgrade. We had a launch of the book in Belgrade at the University of Belgrade. But the publisher used the Cyrillic script, not the Roman script. And I learned while I was in Belgrade that most of the Muslims of the Balkans prefer to read in the Roman script, the Serbian language or the Bosnian language. So we'll have to get them to bring out a second edition in the Roman script, so it'll be easier for the Muslims of the Balkans to read my book on methodology for the study of the Quran. But those of you who can read the Cyrillic script, you can order the book from Belgrade. The next information I have for you is that this book, my first book on Dajjal, the Quran and Awwal Zaman, has now been published, alhamdulillah, and it's available. You can order it from my bookstore, imranhosein.com. But if you are in Britain, I have some good news for you. You don't have to pay the cost of airmail. I don't know the weight of this book. If it is less than 500 grams, then the airmail charges will be £5. But if it is more than 500 grams, then the airmail charges will be more than £5, yes. But if you wait until the middle of January, the book will be available here in Britain. The shipment will be arriving in the middle of January. And stay in contact with me through my email address or through the bookstore. My email address and through the bookstore. And you can request copies of the book, and we'll let you know how you can get it. And you won't have to pay the airmail expenses, no. We do have to pay some shipping expenses and for customs expenses here in Britain and so on, but it'll not be much. So this is the good news for you, that the first book on Dajjal is now available in Britain. Just wait for another two weeks, inshallah. You can wait for that time, and you can order the book. I am working on my second book on Dajjal now. When I leave Britain in the middle of January to go back to France, I hope I'll get some time to sit down to keep on writing on from Jesus, the true Messiah, to Dajjal, the false Messiah. A journey in Islamic eschatology. But I don't know, maybe that book might take the whole of the 1 year, another 1 year to be completed, because it's a lot of time to be devoted to writing, and I don't know how long it will take. But do please remember me in your dua, that Allah might help me to complete that book, and then Dajjal and money, and then Dajjal and the feminist revolution, and then finally Dajjal, the Quran, and the end of history. But this is not going to complete the subject of Dajjal, no. There's much more on the subject of Dajjal, and I'm hoping that Allah will send me those scholars who will be able to do the work, continue the work until we have comprehensively dealt with the subject of Dajjal. And I'm hopeful now, with the kind of response I've been receiving here in Britain from the scholars who have graduated from the Darul Ulooms in Britain. I couldn't believe I know about the Darul Uloom in Pakistan and India and other parts of the world. And I know what kind of product is coming out of those Darul Ulooms. But to my surprise and my happiness, the Darul Ulooms in Britain seem to be doing a better job in introducing the student to the modern world and freeing the mind of the student in such a way that he's open to knowledge. Yes, I am pleasantly surprised. I lectured 2 nights ago in Manchester, and it was organized by ulama, graduates of Darul Ulooms, and they were all there present. And they not only welcomed my lecture, they asked me to speak on Jerusalem as the center of the world. And we should have that lecture on my YouTube channel soon, inshallah. And they were very pleased with the lecture, and they requested that whenever I come back to Manchester, they want me to come and lecture in that hall. This is the kind of positive response I'm getting from the ulama in Britain, and I'm surprised, really. So I'm hopeful, yes, I'm now hopeful that Allah will send those scholars who will be able to continue the work on Dajjal, which I am now beginning. The other announcement is that this book has already been translated to French, and we just got the money, alhamdulillah, to pay for registration of a publishing house in France. We have to do that before we can print in France, and we got the money to print the book. So very soon this book on Dajjal will be printed in France, and we'll then have an online bookstore in French. My online bookstore will direct you to this French online bookstore, from where you can then order the book in French. And I'm going to be traveling to France after I'm complete with London, so about the middle of January. And I hope that Ibrahim will translate this talk quickly for you, so that we can meet. I will be in Paris about the middle of January, so we can meet in small gatherings, not big lecture halls, small gatherings in Paris. And then hopefully we can also meet in other cities in France in small gatherings. Again, let me repeat it, small gatherings, so we do not cause any ripples. I pray that Allah might make it easy for me to reach you in France, and my French can improve so that I can start speaking to you in French. At this time my French is very weak, so we'll still need someone to translate when I meet with you. So thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.